Hey guys, I'm Dov, and today I'm back with more Total War Warhammer 2 online action. Today we're back with a 2v2, as you can see from the Great Green Prophet and the Prophetess hanging out, having a theological debate. We're going to be having a 2v2 with myself and Black Iron Battles, playing Bretonnia and the Greenskins up against an alliance of Dwarves and High Elves under the band of Nagarath. Going to be played by Jonton and Sakarma of Total Brohammer. So, let's get straight to the army compositions. We'll pause it as the battle's already kicking off. You can see, for myself, I've brought an all-cav Bretonnia list. We've got 4 mounted yeoman archers. One of them is the Regiment of Renown Wardens of Montfort, who have missile attacks, poison missile attacks, that is. I've also got Grail Knights and Knights Lion-Hearted on this side. We've got Grail Knights and Knights of the Realm on this side. In the center, Questing Knights and Companions of Quenelle. We've also got the Defenders of the Fleur-de-Lis, the Regiment of Renown Knights Errant here. For the Greenskins, we've got a front line of Black Orcs, second line of Orc Airboys with the Rusty Airs. Got Biggins out to the flanks. In the back, we've got Warlords Boys and 8 Peak Loonies for support. We've got WAAAAAAGH, of course, and a Goblin Big Boss. That's it for our forces. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Elves and Dwarves. We've got some Dwarf Warriors with Miners scattered around up front. We've got a very heavy artillery corps with some cannons and organ guns. We've got 2 cannons, 2 organ guns, and the Goblobber. We've also got, for the High Elves, plenty of Spearmen, some Sword Masters of Hoeth. Let's see here. We've got some Shadow Walkers, Scions of Mathlan, Sisters of Avalorn, the Fireborn. And yeah, Lithanar. In terms of the Dwarf leadership, we've got Ungrim Iron Fist and a Rune Smith. And yeah, Lithanar, and I'm not sure what the caster is. Looks like a Lore of Light mage. So, let's kick the battle into full gear. You can see the artillery going to be popping off shots right off the bat, going straight into these Black Orcs. It's a great high-value target. There's lots of high-value targets on the field, though. You can see these mounted yeomen definitely taking some shots over here on this side, but I'm perfectly happy to let these cheap mounted yeomen take the shots rather than some of the other more expensive units. You can see they're going to be returning fire a bit here. We're targeting them all on the Giant Slayers, obviously, since they have no armor. They're going to be one of the more useful targets for us to shoot at. Now, we do pop off a WAAAAAGH here, and this was kind of the idea of the of this build, is that you get a map-wide WAAAAAGH, and let's just have a quick look briefly. With the WAAAAAGH and the Lance formation both going off, these Grail Knights have a charge bonus of 120. I just wanted to point that out real quick to you guys, because that was kind of the idea for this build. You can see these Questing Knights going to come in here, get some blasting charges to the face, but get an absolutely devastating charge with the WAAAAAGH popping off. And all these units map-wide benefiting from that extra charge bonus. 63 charge bonus on these Companions of Quenelle between the Lance formation and the WAAAAAGH. So despite the charged defense of those Dwarf Warriors there, they are going to suffer pretty badly. Meanwhile, my one unit of Grail Knights does get netted, and the Fireborn are going to come in to respond here. So this unit of Grail Knights is pretty much all but done for. There's Giant Slayers in here hacking them down as well. So definitely looking pretty rough. Meanwhile, on the front line, you can see I'm cycling in and out here, and the Black Orcs are coming in to prepare to take up the main line engagement. Over here on the side, we cycled back out with Knights of the Realm and the Grail Knights, and yeah, lots of gunpowder units going off. You can hear those, the organ gun and more popping off shots. You can see the Orc Infantry has taken quite a bit of damage on the way in, but thankfully I've got the Life Prophetess to do some healing. Meanwhile, over on this side, Knights getting crushed pretty hard. We lost out the Knights of the Lion-Hearted, and here come the Fireborn, just going to charge straight into these 8 Peak Loonies. They will do a ton of shock damage, but the 8 Peak Loonies, of course, are unbreakable. So looks like we have an FG to get somewhere in the back line. Looks like being used on Alithanar's clone there. So a very nice use of the clone. No, actually, that's real Alithanar, so well played by Black Iron, putting that on the appropriate target. Another net going down, freezing these Companions of Quenelle in place. You can see we've been able to create enough chaos in the back line with these Questing Knights that our opponent's range units haven't really been able to fire too much. We're going to compromise this cannon now, bring in these Knights of the Realm and the Grail Knights here to shut down this cannon. Meanwhile, Orcs and so on, slugging it out in the front line here. We've got mounted yeomen running around the side. These dwarfs are definitely taking the south end of this engagement. Here come the Swordmasters of Hoeth coming up through the main line here, and WAAAAAGH is constantly popping off spells to keep up that Bonewood Staff. Looks like it is currently active, bringing these Black Orcs up to 49 attack, And yeah, very, very beneficial there. The companions of Quenelle have taken some severe damage. We hit them with the regrowth earlier though, so they're still fighting in this pocket. You can see them slugging it out with these Fireborn here. And despite the bonus versus large of the Fireborn, I mean, the companions of Quenelle do have pretty good AP values. You can see we're trying to push forward and shut down a lot of this artillery, obviously. Organ gun offline, this cannon still online. But a lot of the dwarf force is being routed off. The greenskins were able to push through pretty effectively there through the center. And meanwhile, the Sisters of Avalorn being interrupted. The rest of the artillery crews, there's still the cannon on the far side, still online. But pretty much everything else is going to be offline, and now we're going to drop the Assault of Stone, since there are some friendly Black Orcs here, but there's lots of Swordmasters and Slayers as well. So here comes the Assault of Stone, just a brutal bombardment of rocks there. And oh man, the Moonbow going off, hitting the Prophetess, doing a little bit of damage there. But at this point, it's still very even. It's a little bit hard to tell who's winning just because there's chaos everywhere. But the main point is that myself and Black Iron haven't really brought any range units whatsoever. And our opponents, on the other hand, have brought a lot of range units. We really only have the Orc firing squad. And other than that, I mean, we do have some mounted yeoman archers, but yeah, Ungrim going to get the FG to get here as WAAAAAGH tries to scurry away. We're going to bring in some knights to help deal with him. Obviously, the anti-large bonus of Ungrim will help him cut through those knights relatively effectively, but yeah, just kind of grouping up all of the remainder of the knights that I have to try and get some good healing. We're also, ooh, those Knights of the Realm have been ranked up quite a bit. Also going to be dropping some healing on some of these tattered Black Orcs and such as well. The Black Orcs really pushing through aggressively at this point, and the Biggins and Goblins and more really doing quite well for themselves. So you can see we're going to finally shut down this cannon with the mounted yeoman archers once again. And yeah, at this point, balance power still very, very even. There's these Fireborn, still I say relatively healthy. They're actually almost gone at this point. We're going to Alpha Strike, collapse this unit of Dwarf Warriors, and again, that's going to bring all my cavalry into a single pocket to be able to heal them. So we're going to do so with that nice Earth Blood. Just get that beautiful, beautiful regeneration on all of those cavalry, and now we're going to get this cavalry moving around in kind of a big death blob, go start finishing off various units, kind of ping-ponging around. You can see we insta-route those Dwarf Warriors. We're going to come in and impact these Swordmasters of Hoeth, then immediately turn around and go back to try and finish off these Fireborn here. So yeah, just all around, ping-ponging around left and right. These knights trying to do the rest of their work. Nice banishment coming down from the Light Wizard, finishing off those Black Orcs, but I don't think it's going to be enough at the end of the day. Balance power is starting to turn more decisively in our favor. So we've got Spearmen being mopped up. This Runesmith won't be able to hold out for much longer. Ungrim Iron Fist himself is taking a ton of damage here, getting massacred by a big boss. There's Gobos here. There's plenty of Bretonian cavalry as well. We're going to drop another Earthblood in here to heal the Gobbo big boss, these goblins, all the cavalry. Just a really, really nice synergy there. These 8-peak loonies, of course, all 2 of them still left alive, also going to be a recipient of that Earthblood there. So, yeah, I actually think that the Greenskins are one of the best factions for 2v2. Because that WAAAAAAGH effect is map-wide, you get so much benefit for your ally. Particularly if you're using a very heavy cavalry build like I did here with Bretonia. Now, obviously, the WAAAAAGH was popped, and I was the one who told Black Iron, pop it now, come on, I'm charging in. But I honestly think we popped it off a little bit early. I should have been slightly more patient with my cavalry charge and waited till the Black Orcs were a little bit closer so that they could have got some benefit from it as well. But overall, I do think the Bretonia and the Greenskins combination is quite strong. Using that WAAAAAGH in tandem with all of these knights with their high charge bonus anyway. You stack that with the Lance Formation, which gives you even more charge bonus. And, I mean, you guys saw, those Grand Knights were up to 120 charge, which is just absolutely insane. So, hope you guys enjoyed watching that battle as much as we enjoyed playing it. It was a super fun one. For myself, obviously, most of the cavalry doing quite well. 96 kills on these Knights of the Realm. They did have some XP chevrons before the battle, but I think they might have got 1 more through the course of the battle. 2 for these Grail Knights, 1 and 96 kills for the Questing Knights, 108 for the Companions. Mounted Yeoman Archers didn't get too many kills, but were definitely instrumental in helping tie up that backline with all these artillery pieces for Jaunton. For Black Iron battles, his Black Orcs and Biggins doing quite well up through the center, 110, 111, 150. The Orc Air Boys were definitely hanging around until the late game, which was nice. And WAAAAAGH's magic and that constant Bonewood Staff was also very helpful. I believe the Bonewood Staff also gives charge bonus. I'll have to check in just a moment. But for Jonton, his Giant Slayers did quite well. Some of the artillery did well, some of it didn't. It was kind of a hit and miss, but he invested very heavily in it, and then they weren't able to protect it, which is, I think, ultimately what cost them. For Sukarma, 251 kills on those Fireborn. They definitely paid for themselves. Unfortunately, the rest of his army, the Swordmasters really underperforming, Shadow Walkers, and Sisters of Avalorn, again, all these expensive ranged units just getting compromised by the overwhelming numbers of mobility. It's very, very rough, but a very fun battle. Hope y'all enjoyed. Let's just quickly look at the Bonewood Staff to make sure it does also give charge bonus. But yeah, like I said, I think that Greenskins are one of the more powerful factions for 2v2, and especially with Bretonnia, because you get access to healing, you get access to some super strong heavy shock cavalry that pair very well with your abilities, and yeah, Bonewood Staff does also give 18% charge bonus, so Black Iron had this, and he was constantly dropping that Brain Bursta. I think this is the spell loadout he had. I'm not 100% sure, Black Iron, if you're watching this, you can confirm in the comments down below, but it's dropping that Brain Bursta. Since it's a relatively cheap spell, you can drop it constantly, and constantly proc that 13 charge bonus, 18% charge bonus and 13 melee attack. Very, very strong ability, and that combined with the map-wide WAAAAAGH means you can constantly buff up like Rail Knights and so on in a 2v2 situation. So yeah, super fun battle, very fun synergy. Hope you all enjoyed watching. If you do like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button, so every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thank you once again for watching, and we'll see you next time.